Get the stuff off.
You know, they got one of these?
No, I'm probably done. Even though it looks good, that smells great.
Yeah.
It smells delightful.
Mhm.
Well,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You might not want to eat rum, but you can eat a little bit, man.
Right. Yeah. And that's the issue. It seems like I'm eating it right.
Right,
All
yeah,
blood on
you eat a little bit,
stuff.
right.
right.
So, hey, nigga. What?
All right, so do it right now, just so that we'll say you gotta leave early. And she said push play on this. On which one?
Right.
What's it about?
Want the remote?
Right here.
This is good.
That's it? That was it?
Is that June 10th?
No, this is Father's Day. We had a Father's Day celebration on Sunday. That's Cornelius, my son. That's my daughter Purpose back there, looking like her mama. That's Tierra's daughter. That's Antonio. Montez, that's Chris Burke. As Tony is my sister.
My son.
Your son, right. Yeah, that's Jeffrey Young's mother. That's Will's wife, D. That's Bava. That's Esau Strawberry and his wife to be. That's her son is in Moose Lake and been there a long time. That's Miss Cheryl. That's my wife and Cornelius. That's what's little mama's name? Charlotte. Right. That's a nice one, a Will.
She went ham on you.
Will was
She did, man.
Will, he was tearing it
I
up.
couldn't eat the piece. My son right there, that headband on.
Oh, okay.
That's my daughter's mom.
Yeah, Samari. And that's King. That's Donald Amos's twin sister. That's Ananias' son. That's Miss Cheryl. Her son is Moose Lake. That's Ananias' crew. That's her husband. He was a guest.
Oh, wow.
Got that.
Pretty cool.
She took flight.
Oh.
This was the karaoke. And I went on and hit my leg.
Oh, you went? Oh,
I
yeah.
hit my leg. I went with Al Green, you know.
There we go.
I go Chris.
That's the girl, Chris.
See, you missed that, Rose. I'm gonna hit a lick for you tonight, though. Don't worry. Don't worry. Mhm.
I can't hear you singing, but you got the move.
Yeah, that old Motown thing.
Right.
Look at Doris.
Oh,
Look at
there you
Doris.
go.
Love and happiness.
Yeah.
Dr. Webb,
Right.
both of those guys, their sons are doing life. Jeffrey and Linnell.
How about blonde? Yeah, he
Look
could have too.
Look at Daniel.
He got that.
Well, that boy was in it, wasn't he?
No,
Wasn't he,
yeah,
Chris?
yeah.
I ain't never seen him like that, man. Look at Lil Mama said, I'm not gonna be outdone.
Daniel's
Oh,
woman.
That's his woman. That's his woman. She said, I'm not gonna miss my shot. That's
Yeah.
Bill's brother right there.
Yeah.
That's Donald's wife. That's Donald.
There's no, I ain't seen him in years. Wow.
He be sliding here all late.
There we go.
What's the date today, man?
22nd. 22nd. No, Blaze right there. His man, King.
Like I said, I'm not a kid. Don't
Yeah,
call
he
me,
must
don't
have told him to say that. He did. You didn't. You ain't told him to say
Hey, what's
that.
happening? Uh-oh, how you doing? It's my
Good.
sister right here. So we just seen you on the video on the big screen.
We gonna watch it again?
Your style. We'll get back to it. I just want you all to see it in it.
Can I get
You
a comment?
can't
Is that
do it.
possible?
Just calm down. Now, look what I want to tell you.
No.
Look what I want to tell you. This is something that happened for me. Right? So I'm sitting there. Now, Will and Ananiah and Tierra, they put it together. And they didn't ask, they went on and made some decisions, took leadership, and made this thing happen. As a matter of fact, Will took us there once before, many years ago. When he first got on, maybe 2 or 3 years he had been out. And we had a good time then.
It was good.
But so I'm sitting there, Ross, and I'm looking at the children's children. It was messing me up, Chris. Because when I started in prison, I didn't see that. But yet here was all of our children playing together and loving on each other, even though the relationship they're enjoying, it started in the penitentiary. Now, I'm just telling you, man, don't tell me you can't turn it around. I'm the wrong guy to try to tell it to you, because I'm sitting there like that.
Yeah.
And looking, Will is cooking, Baba's cooking, Chris has got his son there, and he needed that.
Right.
He got blessed. Your
Yeah.
son got blessed.
Yeah.
And you just messed around there and decided, to participate, to be in it. And so I just want to say to Doug, Doug, I know Doug wanted to be there and he was going through something. But I'm gonna tell you something, Doug, man, there would be no pop group without you. I mean, you solid in there. You solid in there. I don't care about nothing. You are that dude, and don't ever feel like you don't belong where I'm at, or where Will and them is at, because that I know that you didn't feel that way, but I'm just making it clear.
You don't belong where I'm at.
My house,
Side by side.
whatever it is, you get it, and so push through, those issues, whatever they might be. And tonight I had a lesson in mind, and I just don't want to start it and have to quit it. But I want to talk about the ghetto. Now listen to what I'm saying though. Not just the ghetto that is stereotyped as a particular neighborhood and all of this and that. Each one of us are derivatives of that, so we don't have to go over and repeat the obvious. But there are some things about it that sometimes will haunt you in your sleep. I used to tell y'all a long time ago, you don't know the signs of the dog chasing me. See, the size of the dog chasing me was so vicious. Not this guy who's talking to me, but a whole nother being. And I felt like if I went to sleep on it, he would pounce on me. And I was frightened. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Once I got a taste, pay attention. Once I got a taste of the
Good life.
life. This is what I've been teaching, right? 4 years. What do you want? Now, this is my reason for coming in the penitentiary and say, do you want the good life? And what do y'all say back?
Good life.
That's it. The good life. Well, I wanted to create a picture in your mind that was strong enough to spook the dog that's chasing you.
I just want to, you always used to come in every week, dressed to the T's, always nice, showing us what it can be like.
Right.
Got your bling on, got your nice suits. And
Yeah.
that was a big inspiration for me.
Wow.
Just showing that we can be there, we can get there.
Absolutely.
And I'm getting there. And that's funny you bring up the dog thing, Pop, because when I first moved into the Pop house,
Yeah.
there was I remember one specific time being up in my room, And I had that, I was scared
Mhm.
out of my wits.
Right.
And I didn't do a work the next day. I didn't come out of my room
Yeah.
because I was scared to open that door,
Yes, sir.
that something was going to be there to eat me up.
Right.
And I had to push through that.
Mhm.
I mean, I stayed home from work.
Mhm.
And it was overwhelmingly
Mhm.
it was so tough for me to push through that, to
Yeah.
just open that door and take on the world.
Mm.
And it's just, I had a little bit of that this weekend, the whole weekend, but
Yeah.
it just brings me back to you looking just nice all the time. You and Marvin, all your bling on, and
Mhm.
it was a big inspiration for me to see that,
Mhm.
knowing that I could be there at that point in time.
Mhm.
And when you I always wanted to go back to the prisons with you,
Right.
and be a walking, talking,
Sure.
rehabilitated person
Sure.
to show these guys that it can be done.
Right. Ross, stop that beating like that. Oh, that's stop that. Go ahead. Will got something. Did you have something?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay.
No.
So Doug, this is so powerful what you're really saying. And see, if the truth be told,
Oh, I'm sorry. I do got something.
go ahead.
I just, but I didn't know that I had something.
Mhm.
Until he asked me, and then I was, what? Because I was thinking about something.
Okay.
And that's
I
what
thought
I
I
had
saw
for you.
something there.
Yeah, but I wasn't. I was just thinking. So I
Mhm.
wasn't. Dougie, man. Dougie been. So a lot of folks don't know, but he's been dealing with this since he's been home, right? But coming home, he had all that momentum, and so he was able to manage it. Because he had a lot of confidence. You know what I'm saying? And like for example, we joke. I joke about him
I know where he's going with
with it all the time. So we on the paper route,
Mhm.
right? And we out there in Blooming 2 in the morning, whatever. And we drive past a parking lot, apartment building, nice apartment building. Actually, it's my route now. It's the
Right.
building is my building now.
Uh-huh.
But we drive past it, and Dougie said, they coming, and they coming hard, right?
Right.
And so now I look over there, it's two police cars in the parking lot. They just talking to each other.
Right.
Ain't moved.
They pay no attention.
And we look back at Dougie and just laugh like the next 10 minutes because he was so serious.
Yes, sir.
But this was his anxiety.
Absolutely.
But he was able to laugh about it then because he had all this, confidence in his momentum, and you know what I'm saying? So he was able to better handle it. And then as time went on, I guess some incidences proved to be a little bit tougher than others, you know what I mean? But I want to remind you, Doug, I want to remind you of your power, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, this incident ain't no more valid, no more important than the one when you saw the police in the parking lot.
Mhm.
The only difference was how you responded.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And so I just,
That's good.
that's it, man. Just want to.
And that's something I just realized now too, with you saying that, is I was with my people.
Mhm.
I was with you
Yeah,
guys
that's
to
true.
That's
that,
it.
that blanket.
That's
That's
was
true.
of, okay, I'm gonna be all right. When I find myself isolated is when I want to crawl in the closet,
Yeah.
shut the door, and and just dwell on it.
Right.
And when I come, I get my blessing every week from this and get fed.
Right.
It works out for the much
And
better.
Sonny, you were there with us. So you had to deal with it on your own because you chose to stay home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
But see, look, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead. You got it.
So
Go ahead.
this one together, this reminds me just about the fear thing.
Mhm.
When we talk about the fear thing is real.
Right.
Fear is real,
Right.
but it's also up in here.
Mhm.
We created ourselves.
Right.
We create this fear ourselves. I had that fear And so I had to realize, like, wait a minute, I'm creating that fear for myself. It's just like I was in my garage, right? And my garage don't have no light. Now I know the garage is empty. I'm in the garage by myself. But the door accidentally shut. Now I know the door is shut because the wind blew and it shut the door.
Right.
All of a sudden now it's just dark in there. But all of a sudden I feel like I'm about to get hit over the head, stabbed in the back, all types of stuff.
Right.
It's just like, ooh,
Right.
my heart started rushing and racing.
Wow.
And then I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
Ain't nobody in this garage with me.
Right.
You can't get that fear off of me like that and just make it to this door and open it back up and walk out of here.
Good. See, I almost cut you myself.
I was just like that on the way down here, man, with like walking off the bus on 18th and Fremont. There's four brothers that are checking out this four-wheeler on the side of the road, and one like lifted up his shirt and asked me if I knew anything about four-wheelers. And my first instinct over on the north side, especially with now, was to look at his waist to make sure he's not carrying something.
Right.
And I told him, I said, I don't know anything. I don't know enough about four-wheelers that I can help you on what your problem is. And I kept on walking, but my anxiety got the best of me for the next 20, 30, 40 seconds. Like, don't look back, because that's cowardly. But are these guys about to run up on me?
Right.
That's no,
but that's real though. And this is what I just want to. Ghetto's got H in it.
T-H-E-T-T-O.
I read. Yeah. Ghetto. Yeah, not that. Right. That looking like that. I'm just throwing this out. That's food for thought, and I'm trying to go someplace. Now watch this. Watch it. Hey. Watch this. Watch this. This what I want to tell you about. It's on the share. Say together.
Ghetto.
See, now you have all these ideas, I do too, about what the ghetto is. Just say one thing that the ghetto is to you. Dirty.
Or
Oh, that's good.
Anxiety ridden.
No, 1 second.
addicted.
I got it. That too. Dirty. Addicted. What was the next one? Hey, David. What I'm saying? Come on, Donald, what do you think of it? Give me one word for the ghetto. State of mind. Good. Somebody else, the next person. Awesome, good.
Poverty stricken.
So what was it?
Exploitive area.
Yeah, crime.
Home.
I just want to go one time. I don't need two.
Poverty stricken.
Property.
Not poverty. Poverty.
I said crime. I don't know if it's up there.
Poverty.
Okay. So poverty.
Well, he's got four. I just said.
That's all right. Just say what's on your mind.
Okay.
You said something already. I just want to just go one time. Marginalized people. Okay.
Oppressive.
Go.
Neglected.
Neglect.
Nice one, bro.
Come on. Thank you. Come on, get over here real quick. I'm starting to feel real good in here, so I'm gonna take off. I ain't gonna go long, but I want to show y'all something. Look at this. Look quick. Grab that chicken for 1 minute. Watch this. When you were incarcerated, it started out as the
ghetto.
Incarceration starts out as a ghetto because look, it has all of these components attached to it. Is that right or wrong what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
So see, when you first went to the penitentiary, you really were in the
ghetto.
regardless of the community you came from. Now I just want you to understand something. You got to watch this transposition. Whatever that was you was into that brought you to the penitentiary, you brought that level of ghetto to the ghetto. Watch this. Watch this. And then you were frightened, as a man would be, in the presence of all these other men. You were frightened to say, wait a minute, it's my version of the ghetto. Go get me through this version of the ghetto. Oh, wait a minute, I got something for you, but I'm just trying to help you. That's the introduction. I'm trying to help you see something, and it got to do with what Will and Doug was just talking about. So when I came in there every day, sharp as a tack, 15 straight years, right? So you could hardly say if I wore the same thing twice, it was years from then. Yeah. And I was doing it on purpose. Say intentional. Intentional. I was intentional because I wanted to show you a vision of the good life. Say it louder than that. Good life. Yeah, say vision. Vision. Yeah, meaning what do I see? So watch this. I keep talking about the good life. I'm talking about it good too. I'm talking about it good right now. But I was popping that corn about the good life. What I was really doing was testifying to you that the dog that was chasing me from the ghetto is not in front of me, he's behind me. But I could hear him bark, and that's what brought the fervor and the passion out of what I was saying to you. And I caused you to believe what I was believing, that I was stronger than the ghetto or the dog that was chasing me. I don't hear nobody here. Now watch this. Esau heard him say, you know what? You ain't got your wife with you. I'm so used to now seeing y'all together. Now I want to know where she at. Call her up. Get that married man to be a hand. Watch this. Now, so look. So what I ended up with, I had got a new vision for my life. And the dog who used to be out in front of me is now behind me. I could feel it nipping. Right? Say, you ain't really that. You know where you came from. You know who your people are. You know this is generational. What are you talking about? Negro, you acting up, right? Well, look, and these things are there. It was my version of anxiety saying, my cousins in there, my same age or a little bit older, 4 or 5 years older. My brother, they still trying to get away from the dog. Say it louder than that. Dog. And which really keeps them and I'm saying this in love. It keeps them living in a type of fear that won't allow you to get a new vision. It won't allow you, I'm telling you, it won't allow you, if you're frightened, it won't allow you to get a new vision. You got to watch this. This is just the introduction. I'm just trying to show you something right here. Watch. So I came in there talking about the good life. And after a while, it started to trump what you thought about not just the ghetto you were in then, but you can reevaluate the ghetto you came from. Come on. You got that because of a new vision. Right. A man is nothing if he doesn't have a vision for his life. Now I'm going to show you something here. This is the point of this conversation. I've been at this for years. I can tell you right now, men who come to this group, everybody comes from prison, men who come from this group and stay here, they find in the good life. You wrong, and now this is love, to give the dog anytime. Whenever the dog is barking, run to the good life. Because somebody in here is living it, and somebody in here is trying to live it, and somebody don't get it yet. And somewhere in that, you will be able to locate yourself. Mm-hmm. I'm talking good. Watch this, and then I'm going to finish. Watch this. Oh, God, I got to run and get myself money. Watch this. I'm going to show you something. Watch this. What I have found is that Look here, one second, Donald, one second. What I found though is when guys come home and they start spending their time in the street, even though they have gotten, listen to this, a transformational vision about
Good life.
and they started living it in prison. Some of y'all didn't get free. This ain't everybody. Some of y'all didn't get free when they opened the door. It's because you weren't able to shake the
Ghetto.
and
Dog.
which keep you living in
Fear.
and you're doubting yourself over time. So when you begin to doubt, you look for who you had with you last time because that makes you feel comfortable. But when you're living strong, you look for people who weren't there last time, who can feed you. Somebody say feed me.
Feed me.
The one thing about the group is over the years, it just feeds you, right? It just feeds you. If you come in here, take a taste of this water and you will never get thirsty. You can drink some of the other water, but you will thirst again. But in this water right here, it will not keep you thirsty because you'll keep thinking in your mind about the
Good life.
Say, I am a vision
A vision
of the good life.
of the good life.
I'm almost there. I'm gonna break it off. Watch me. I have seen some bad who got free of the prison, both ghettos, for a time. But then come home and dug away from the thing that caused you to see. Don't be mad. Watch this. And then I see them guys over the years shoot back the other direction. Shoot back to addiction. Shoot back to neglect and dirty. Shoot back to living. I don't hear you.
Poor.
You don't want to say that loud, do you? Yeah. I was poor. I didn't know it though. But man, look, I ain't poor no more. And I'm talking, it's not monetary. I got a good mind and I got a new idea. Man, if I have $100 in a few minutes, I'm getting ready to come up with something that's gonna be cracking. So I'm a bad man.
I'm a bad man.
I'm talking about you. See, and then for Ross, who's just coming home. Now look at Ross. Ross he was getting free. Only way for a lifer to get free in the
Ghetto.
You got to get free from both ghettos and demonstrate. If you don't put on the correct demonstration, you're behind ain't, I'm just telling you the truth. Your behind ain't going nowhere. And you be sitting there at the board table and they will break your heart. I've been sitting there. I know how they can do you. They push you off the screen and tell you, yeah, just a minute, we'll be right back. And the screen goes dark. And in between, while the dark screen is there, your life is flashing in front of you. You got a new vision for yourself, but you also got you also remember and you also realize we all came up out of and you wondering, are they gonna do me right? But here's the question. Did you do you right?
Yeah.
Now, if you did you right, then you can at least sit at the table I'm teaching good. At that level, if you didn't do you right, you have no seat at the table. Hey, stroke you with 5 cents. Stroke you with 3 cents. Somebody know what I'm talking about. You know, watch this. Watch this. I'm almost done. I'm trying to stop myself. Watch this. Look. But look, you can't set it down inside of this demonstration. Come back out here and waste your time picking up prison mentality and the dog that used to chase you when you was a kid. When you were a child or a young person, you were trying to prove yourself to somebody. Everything we were doing, this is my last point. Donald, everything we were doing as young people in the street was to impress somebody, to make somebody feel we were important, to make somebody see I knew what I was popping. I had this thing going on. Make somebody see it. And while we were trying to make somebody see it, some of us got, say it louder than that. Some of us started living dirty. Some of us had children, but we went into, I'm teaching good.
Yes.
Watch this. Some of us started living
Poor.
Yes, some of us adopted, and will we adopt the
State of mind.
of the
Ghetto.
Somebody's slipping back to the
Hustle.
Somebody's going to the exploited behavior and can't figure it out. Now watch this, and this is my last point. How could you mess around in the penitentiary and figure out how to not be an inmate? And come back here and can't figure out how to live. That is criminal. Because you're pulling a gun on yourself. You threaten your own freedom. Saying, I don't know if I can do it. Wait a minute. I watched you do it. Right here. I watched you get your shine on off the floor. I watched you right here. This is not that. But if you apply them techniques back to the street life, it'll come alive for you all over again and represent itself as something different because you have lost your vision. Don't have the ability to guide your own self. I struggle with some of the older guys that have been around a long time. You know, they strong. I love it. But some of the younger guys who are just coming out, or even on the wrong. You gotta give what you got to them. Right? It can't just be me now. Now we do a lot of stuff. I ain't getting down on us. We do it much better than you. We could be better at this. If everybody cuffed one somebody, Lonnie McKinney, he needed to be cuffed. And Lonnie set down the and all of this crime, rose up and went to school, graduated college, summa cum laude. The highest grade you can receive, Lonnie McKinney, big Lonnie, received it. And when he got up to get his degree, they let him speak. And the boy threw down, man, like a giant. I'm going to be, this is what he told me. He said, there go my mentor right there, and I'm going to be the greatest motivational speaker in the world. And he stood back, man, like this here, all big and black. And it was like, oh, okay. Well, and I'm saying he still got it. But look, time be running out on some people. If you see them, if you notice, dedicate yourself, spend a minute. Coffee. Hey, let's do this. Let's get together, let's have coffee, let's do this. Just talk. Because I'm telling you, as it gets passed down, way down there, the young people say, oh, I got this. I just, this is what they said, oh, Pop, I got this. I like Negro, you just got out of the penitentiary. Right? You have to transition. But that word has become kind of a symbol of something that doesn't really exist in some young people's mind. You're in a hurry. You waited 10 years. You couldn't wait 2 years and make yourself strong as a bull. You surrender all your manpower to a female who doesn't know you. She can't, because you don't know. I'm just trying to help her. I went on too long. I didn't need to go on that line. Did that help anybody right there? Yeah. I'm only saying this because I'm concerned that we go to sleep and start misusing. Somebody say, I'm not gonna miss my shot.
Not gonna miss my shot.
Now say it like you would believe it.
Not gonna miss my shot.
I am not gonna miss my shot. That's what I'm saying.
Amen.
That's what I'm talking about. And it's not her shot. And she can't miss her shot. But you can't miss that. Do you hear what I'm saying to you?
Right.
It's your shot.
Right.
Lily is
Right.
Lily, and that she got to have to shoot her shot. But you got to shoot your shot.
Right.
And when you know that the group gives you the oil on your head that allows you to get strong, man, don't run from it, run to it.
Her shot ain't my shot.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Will. Go ahead. Next up.
Not just, I like that because,
And Will, let everybody respond.
Yeah.
Get everybody involved.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get you.
okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right. We can't miss that shot either. Grab that. Yeah. So, too many times, one of the things Pops drove home to me, man, is that he said, Will, don't come out, man, and, shack up with somebody, man, after all this time, and you don't have your own, you're not established. And not being established means I can't stand on my own 2 feet, right? And I just, that just meant a lot to me, man, because, I care a great deal about the people in my life. I care a great deal about my wife to be, but her shot is not my shot, right? And if I come out here trying to live off of her shot, right, then I'm still not standing on my own. You know what I'm saying? I'm not standing on my own. And I just I've been home for 10 years now. 10 years. It's been 10 years like a week ago. And right, and man, and I'm telling you, I can't express how many times we struggle with trying to live off of a lady's shot. You know what I'm saying? Over the years, I've seen it happen too many times. Brothers coming here trying to live off of her shot. You know what I'm saying? And it just it very seldom works out. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to throw that out there, man, because that stuck with me, man, shooting my own shot. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I get my winnings, right, for shooting my shot, then I'm going to share, right, with the people who I love, right? But I'm going to also have the confidence that came as a result of knowing that I could shoot my shot and I could score and I could stand on my own, right? And make things happen, right? Now, this is what I got. Now, here, baby, I'm willing to share it with you. Right. But I'm not going to come out here and say you should do all the shooting. And then I know deep down on some core level, right? I don't believe in myself on a core level because I never proved it to myself that I can believe in myself, right? So I'm gonna shoot my shot, right? Because if I don't shoot my shot, right, I never know that I'm capable. I never know that I can do this, right? I could talk all about it all day long, but listen, man, I could say, you know what, I'm a heavyweight champion of the world, but until I beat a contender, right, I just be talking, right? But once I face that number one contender and win, now I know it. I don't just believe it. I ain't just talking about it. Now I know it, right? So we gotta shoot our shot, man. We gotta shoot our shot.
Yeah. I remember, okay, so I've been out for a little over 2.5 years, and I did 3.5 years. It was the longest time that I ever spent in my whole life. No human interaction, no contact, praises, no anything that was positive. You know what I mean? So getting out of prison, I wanted something that I had before going into prison. So I went back to what was familiar rather than rebuilding what was new. And I'll say this, I'm glad that my story didn't end when I first got out, because then I wouldn't have been able to blossom into the person that I am today. But I got some good advice from Shane, because drifting back into that old life had some consequences. I ended up getting a violation, having to go there for 2 weeks to get in here, and I ended up not going back to prison. I ended up just getting a restructure or whatever it was, but changing this advice. He said, you gotta let your head catch up to your heart, gotta let it catch up to what you're doing, because otherwise you won't be in balance, you know? And I wasn't in balance. And just like getting that advice, and really honing in on that advice, you know, I'm glad that I got that advice early on, because it set the stage for everything that came after that.
I just want to make one comment. I don't know. Kind of like what you had said about, you could be the heavyweight champion of the world, but if you don't, fight somebody that's got like 1 or 2 losses, what's the belt worth? And I've been coached all my life by my father to know what a strong man looks like. And I don't even want to say it has to do with being a strong man. I think the strongest person in the world is somebody who can freely say, I need help.
I don't know, man. I like what you said, because I had 3 violations. I really had 2 administrative measures tried to give me, but I was blessed to get out far away from that. But I had those 2 violations, and those 2 violations were devastating to me. And I look back upon those violations, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, because even I may hate you, I might be mad at you, I don't even like you. I can't start to hear your name. Your name is in connection with 2 violations. I feel that. I feel that. Right. You are right along with me, right? You're right there with me, and you're gonna listen to all the stuff I had to listen to, right? And here's the thing too that I learned, and Shane will talk about it a little bit. If you're not free, do not get free while you're in the penitentiary. Do not expect to come out here and be free, because you cannot get free in here. We're on a journey. We're on a long journey. And the journey actually started from birth, but in that little interim, where we was in that little confinement, that controlled environment for all those years, where these people called our shot, everything was heavily structured, all decisions, most decisions out of your hands. You just followed orders and went along with it. If you did anything contrary to that, there was a punishment to that. A lot of people adapted to it. I adapted to that. And there was times I said to myself, am I institutionalized? Because I have to go along with this. But that really didn't bother me so much, because I knew my spirit was always saying, we're going to get up out of this thing anyway. Excuse my name, we're going to get up out of this thing, work our way out of it. But when I prayed, I never really asked for nothing. I never really asked God to do this and do that. I just said, you let me go when you think I'm ready to go, right? I don't want to be there until you say I'm ready to go. If I get there before I'm not ready, right? And I did that, right? Because that was me, that was man doing that. But once I settled down and found out my true worth, my true value in that prison cell, going through what I went through, I heard a whole lot of mess, man. You know what I mean? They called me a criminal. I'm still a criminal. I'm never going to change. I'm too old to change. And, you just want to do everything your own way. And I heard a whole lot of mess, right? But I knew in my heart and my spirit that this is my journey. I had to walk this journey. I don't like it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to do something about it, but I have to do it. It may seem crazy to you, but this is what I have to do. And once I did it, now when I'm sitting out here right now, like speaking to you right now, this very moment, I'm at peace. I'm not worried about that dog back there. He can't never catch me again. He can't never bite me. He can't never do nothing to me. You know what I mean? I'm not looking back that way. What happened here yesterday, It's back in yesterday. What happened today is today. I deal with that.
No, that's good.
Amen,
That's
man.
good. But now, look now, Amos ain't saying that if you came home and you ain't free, you need to go back to prison to get
No,
free.
no, I'm not
He ain't
saying
saying,
that.
I just don't want nobody
Not saying
okay, yeah.
not saying this was probably meant for me in all reality. No, not for everybody.
I'm not saying it. You know what I'm saying? You know, for me, and the reason I'm saying it, because on my way here, right, I'm listening. Knowing that on my way here, I usually catch this show, Paul D. Jones.
Yeah.
I usually catch this show. So, but along the way here, he was talking about a plan for your life.
Right.
And he said, it's how he was stressing how important it is that we have a plan for our life, right? So, in the midst of him talking about how important it is to have a plan for our life, he mentioned how the state have business plans to build penitentiaries. And he said they would not build that penitentiary if they did not have a plan for my life. Right?
Yep.
So when I as I was listening to it, I was like, wow, and then I come in here, I'm hearing a plan. See, because before I went to penitentiary the last time, see, I was living on the street, I was homeless and all that. I didn't have a plan. And it took me to go into that penitentiary that last time for me to be in that cell to hear all kind of things, for me to say, man, I'm better than this. I'm more than this. I'm ashamed of what I've become. You know, I have to do something. So I started saying these things, right? Yeah. And in the midst of me saying them things, I started giving new vision. Because what I realized about when I say I am, whenever I use the word am, I'm talking about being present right now. Nothing yesterday didn't matter. See, because if I keep going back, looking back yesterday at that dog, I do become fearful. I become ashamed and all that. So when I was listening to Pop talk about the house, the building structure, and he was saying the roof ain't the most important thing, but the foundation, because he has a vision, he's able to lay a foundation in his home so that he can live that good life. You know, because I'm gonna tell you, I'm definitely living a better life than what I had lived once upon a time. And really because it's further and further.
Then you go into the ruins of the city. So all that also is in Asia Minor. Asia Minor or Turkey is like the second Bible. It has so much stuff in it. Okay, I don't know why y'all huh? Yeah. So the epistle of Polycarp to the Philippines. So he wrote it, but
I had to learn to sit in the conversation of the mic. I said, I'm afraid that have my best working when I don't even know how to hold.
One of the people they came
That's good. No, that's good. Dr. Well, I need you to mute your mic. I need you to mute the mic. My man. All right. Okay, that's good.
Yep.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Man.
Anybody else?
It's good to see you, man.
I was
Good to see you.
on my way home from work today, man. While I was riding home, I was like, man, you gotta go to the pub meeting. I said, man, that's the last place I feel like being right now. And then as soon as I said it, I heard myself say that. I said, wait a minute. Well, not exactly the last place I want to be right now. And the last place I want to be right now, I can name about 5 or 6 of those.
Right.
I said, the last place I want to be right now is getting ready to relapse. Been a relapse. Running from my parole officer because I didn't relapse. And the look on my family face because they know that I relapsed, wondering if I'm gonna be available again. How long is it gonna be before I'm gonna be around again? I said that's probably the last place I want to be.
Definitely
It's just-
sobering.
Yeah. I said so, and then we went right into the fact of I said plus really as long as I'm at the pop meeting, I ain't got to worry about none of that stuff because that ain't gonna happen. I'm not gonna go to
That's
the pop
true.
meeting and then go run and do that.
That's true.
So one thing is if I can get there, I'm gonna be all right. I said, well, one thing is if I don't be there and I consistently don't be there, I stand a better chance of doing that than I would be to continue doing what I'm doing right now. Because I have more time investing in doing the wrong thing on the street than I got with doing the right thing on the street. And so if I'm not around the support, then it's a good chance I'm gonna start back doing the wrong thing on the street because that's what I'm really used to doing on the street. So I gotta stay at the meeting because I see examples, and this is the conversation I'm having. I see examples of people that came out on the good life, but decided not to keep with the support. And now you can see the difference between them trying to do it on their own. They back trying to maneuver through the ghetto again. And the ghetto mentality rather than just leaning on one another in the good life.
I want to show of hands, right? I'm about to do a survey, show of hands. But first, before I do it, I just want to talk about what the prison experience was and for me. So now for me personally, okay, prison experience was okay, I'm in prison, right? I'm subjected to somebody else's rules, right? Look around, that's terrible, right? And then of course that's compounded by a racial component, right? Caucasians everywhere I look, right? Okay, so I'm in that. And then part of the prison experience is not just the fact that I'm in prison, but the fact that my freedom been taken away from me, right? So that's also part of it. Another piece, right, is that I can't, right? I can't participate beyond the prison walls. So if my mother passed away or my father passed away or someone that's meaningful for me passed away, right? I can't attend a funeral. I can't attend a graduation, right? I'm just saying all of this, right? Stuff that happens on the inside, as well as stuff that happens on the outside was part of my prison experience, right? Okay, now that's saying, because I just wanted to place the context on it. Now, with a show of hands, who all feel that the prison experience was the toughest thing they had to go through? If you feel like that, I mean, if you don't, fine. But if you do, show of hands. Okay, so now, me personally, it was by far the toughest I've had to experience, with my life. Now, those who agree that was the toughest experience they had to go through in their life, within the context of that, Pops just showed us how we thrive, right? We found a way to thrive. Now, those of us who feel that was the toughest thing we had to go through, we are saying we found a way to thrive within the toughest situation and conditions we've ever had to go through, right? Yeah. So how much more easier should it be for us out here? Okay, now we're dealing with the vicissitudes, the ups and downs of life, but minus the prison experience, right? Which we already done acknowledge, it gets no more difficult than that. Okay, so if we're here and we don't have that, man, then how much easier should it be for us to move forward. You know what I'm saying? It's about perspective, man. Everything's about perspective. Sometimes we psych ourselves out, but everything about perspective. So what you think, Dougie? Yeah, you heard from everybody.
Dougie Spears, top guy. What I take from that, Willie, is that prison being the hardest time of my life, that is my single most motivation to not want to go back. Is to do the right thing, don't let people down, you know, be proud of myself, keep my head up, do what's right, and just knowing at the back of my mind that dog that's there saying that, you know, why would you want to put yourself back in that situation where to experience more of the worst time of your life? It doesn't commute to me why you would even put myself in that situation for the possibility of going back.
Also, what I'm saying, Dougie, is that if we're saying that that's the toughest experience we've had to go through, I'm saying that we've already had our heavyweight fight. We already fought the championship. We already faced the toughest contender and we knocked him out. So what I'm saying, Doug, is that we're ready. You're ready. You're strong enough. You're capable of enough. You've already been through the worst you've ever been through, and you came out on top. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a champion. You're not a contender anymore. Wear your crown, brother. Walk with your crown.
Can I say something about that from this perspective? From 2000 to 2015, I was in and out. Right? Now, whereas a few guys in here was in a second, right? And so he did. Right? Now, me myself, doing short bits, right? You told me one day, I think we were talking, and you said, Angel, if you don't learn the lesson. Remember that? And so a lot of times, now I mean, I'm gonna tell you, for me at my age, when I started, first time I was in prison, I was 18. I stayed out until I was 40. Now to go to prison at 40 years old, no matter 6 months or whatever, that's hard because I didn't have support. I watched guys get mail. I watched them go to commissary. I watched them get visits, you know, and I get a letter saying the dog dead, you know, kind of like Eddie Murphy. If I got a letter like that. Everything's going wrong now. I'm glad I'm here. But the truth is, doing them big. See, because I told George Stevens one day, I spoke with George Stevens one day, and I told him, I said, each time I went to the penitentiary, I managed to leave a little bit of me there. See, so I can survive in the penitentiary. But my problem was I did not know how to live life out here. So it was easier for me to go in there and have somebody to tell me when I ain't had nothing out here. It was easier for me to go in there to lay down, rest, get my strength up. You know what I'm saying? Get my good glow. It was easy for me.
3 hours in a cot.
Right. It was easy because I didn't know how to live my life. I didn't have a vision of the good life. But to have that vision of the good life, but to have the vision, you know, to come out with a new vision, it makes the difference. Because I've seen guys who 10, 15, 20 years free from addiction. But so they come right out, first thing they do, they want to get glad. They want to get, you know, they want to get. So,
Oh yeah.
trying to understand how the ghetto and the good life, and the fear and dog in the past, how much time you got, how many violations, the growth, maturity, relationships, it's all like a big cup. And what you fill it with is what you're gonna refresh yourself with. So when I went in, I got arrested at 16, I went to prison at 17, and it was all fear. Fear was survival. So I only got 17 years of trying to figure out how to survive, you know, the hood life, the ghetto life, how to protect yourself. And once I locked in on that frame of thinking, now years and years and years to unthink it, untrain it, be less neglectful, to break away those chains of fear and survival, because they're kind of interconnected. And how much time it takes to do that. And so I think sometimes when we have relapses of parole violation, it's the undoing of what you locked in on in that time in prison, in that time in jail, in that time in fear, in that time surviving. And so when Willie was like, was it the hardest time? My hardest time was on ISR, being outside of prison, living in unknown territory, because I was 17, right? And so I got out when I was 28. And so unknown territory, unknown living situation. And I got this super tight authority that's willing to take me back to prison on who knows what, Lake Kirkwood. You didn't have your driver's license when you left the house. You didn't know who you were, back to prison. You didn't check with your therapy, you didn't check with your studio, back to prison. You didn't bring your shoes, your gym shoes today, back to prison. And so now it's back to their base again. And now I'm surviving. And so it was only a matter of time where I was trying to survive, trying to fear, trying to duck and dodge, then got the violation back. Now I'm relieved. Oh, I ain't in that fear state no more. I ain't in that survival state no more. I'm in the routine. I'm back in the 3D, you know, the get up this time, go do this, you know. Right. Then, so I'm like, okay, now my mind is at ease. Released again. All right, how long is it gonna be before I start throwing me back in prison? Because I still didn't undo the survival, the fear. And like Shane was saying, the new vision, living in a good life, coming in a group all the time, learning these lessons and putting your stuff out there and getting stronger. And once I started to build that and then knock down these goals and these steps, which led me to the next step, which got me up out of the survival.
But but that's part of the prison experience.
Yeah.
See, you still was part of the Department of Corrections. You was just in
it was intense.
Transition, right, intense, right. So that's part of it. So for you, that last part of it was the toughest part for you. But that's all part of it. The prison experience. See, it really. If you think about it, I'm telling you guys, that was the toughest thing you had to go through. If you think about it, if you just really think about it. Angelo went 4 or 5 times, so you got to put heels together. The pain, you bumping your head in between those times, and everything that happened to you, around you, during those 4 or 5 times,
Let me give you an example.
it gets no toughness. Do we need some more? We need some more? Okay, I'm brought some more.
More? Everybody got some?
Yeah, we'll just eat some,
Willie, you want some?
No, no, thank you. No, thank you, man. Well, I'll take a piece of that cake.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we-
we just gonna eat.
Go ahead, go ahead.
But you saying that really, it was shame. See, my experience became a shame. I kept coming back. I kept seeing the same guy. And they sitting there saying, damn, you this dumb motherfucker.
Hey, no cursing in the group,
I
brother.
ain't mean to say that.
Lord have mercy.
But I ain't mean to, I apologize. But
Cross the line.
I know it did. I know it did. Oh, man, I was sick. But no, but the truth is, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to come back and
My
see
hands are
guys,
gonna
you know, man, you got your again.
Yeah.
I heard the story, like, man, you 60 years old, yeah, life, a family.
We don't give,
Yeah, later.
I want to give it, put it in perspective like this. When you say,
Oh, we need one more.
kind of want to wait.
You want some cake, bro?
Let me get back to me so you can hear this. I kind of, hey, Willie, this is what I was trying to say like this, because I didn't raise my hand for that. You know, it's been the most toughest thing for me.
Okay.
The most toughest thing for me when I used cocaine for the first time when I was 17. I said, that's gonna be my last time doing that. And I can never put a two consecutive years together, not one complete year together from 17 until I finally went to prison at 45 without at least using cocaine once a year within the 365-day period of time. I didn't even call it relapse. I just called it using. Right? Because I never even had a clue on stopping. That just wasn't the part of well, I wanted to not use, but somehow, some way within 365 days of the year, I'm gonna figure out some way to give it the okay.
All right.
Right? So I could never do that. And then by the time I wanted to do it on my own, I didn't have the ability. I didn't have the know-how. I had too much pride to go to any type of treatment. And then by the time I had enough sense to go to treatment, then I was physically dependent on it. So I felt like crap. Well, even though I didn't want to do it, I still did it.
Let me ask you this here.
So the first time that I was able to put multiple years together without using cocaine was in prison. And actually that was like brought me back to myself, to who I really was. And I was like, dang, that was 1 year. That first 365 days was like, dang, that was like boom. And I did 2 and I said, dang, well, at least I know for a fact I'm gonna get 5 years without using. Oh, and that meant a lot to me. And so my hardest thing was putting that thing down and going home when I still had a pocket full of money.
So when you said that, man, that was powerful. But I wanted to ask you, what's the hardest thing for you doing drugs, or what's the hardest thing was for you learning how to get off of drugs? See, I think the hardest part was the second part.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy for, I could go right out there now and
I agree.
pick up a joint. Like, I never put it down. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, one puff and it's like old times. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, the hardest struggle was to be resolved and you know what? I'm done with that, right? Okay, then so that struggle for you then took place in a joint too. So now you're in a joint and you're compounded with dealing with the stress of trying to get up off of drugs and get clean and to be convinced, you know what I'm saying, that okay, I am clean, I am done with it. So when you go home, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's a tough battle because we all see each other go through that battle in the joint, you know what I mean? Treatments and all that stuff. And we know that's it's easy to pick up a drug, it's harder to quit and make up your mind that you're done with, right? Right? And that was part of that prison experience, compounded by it too.
And see, one of the things by me being in prison, first year I did the county. So, and then for the next 4 years, I was in some form of PFA or some form of treatment. So that was a lot like school. I was getting a tremendous amount of support from the outside, so I didn't ever feel alone. And I had already been isolated and away from family before because I was in the circle. So it was like an extension, and then I was always in minimum. So it was just like, for me, it was just like, a place like a boot camp. You know, boot camp ain't the same as if you're going somewhere else, right?
Right.
So it was just like that. It was a learning experience. It was a healing process. It was a healing time. And I had already was taking a ghetto mentality on the way in. And plus, once you done gave up and you done surrendered to the Lord, you know, and you gave him your burdens, you know what I'm saying? You really ain't going through that much that you can't, you know, lean on him to get you through. And, you know, so that helped me a lot with the support. You know, okay.
Okay, Pop, Doug, he got loved on, man.
Okay. So did Ross get in? What did Ross have to say?
I didn't say anything. I was listening.
Go ahead, bro. That's your turn now.
He got loved on.
What did this message mean for you?
Say, you gotta be on your game.
I have to be. You have to own that.
As I said, I have to be on my game. Like I said,
Okay,
I have to be on my game because I know my problem is always going to be right there, and I know that problem will always come to me, and because I think of that as an evil spirit. The evil spirit will always come to me, know how to come to me in the way that it can get to me.
Right.
Because it's evil and it's got some tricks in it. So,
Absolutely.
So
the dark side will never waste its time.
right, you know how to get to it.
Right. That's a good point. But I'm coming to you, Dan. You next. But see, right there in Ashland House where you at, you're really dealing with all of this.
Oh, ain't no question.
Inside of that house. You'll see some people who are in the ghetto and who were turning that halfway house into a type of prison for lack of a new vision. And part of the reason why we're having this lesson in some ways was for you to be able to use your eyes and remember what you had to do to get outside of these walls. You know, and you know, I'm just gonna say, you know, there's some of us, Ross, who could go back because they hadn't invested in their release. For those people who have really invested in their release, I'm not sure. You see what I'm saying? You can go back and be okay. The pressure, the pressure is so great. I'll wait for all the amens to die down. Daniel, and then Anthony just walked in. Baba just walked in, and give Baba a hand. He's so late. We love him, but he's so late. God Almighty up in this place. Go ahead.
So you know, I kind of gotta go with the gentleman next to me. You know, prison was definitely hard. Definitely an eye opener to you know how lonely I could be with my thoughts. But my prison happened back when I was 16 when I lost my mom, and then 17 when I lost my brother. My brother had been there for me through thick and thin after my mom died, and then watching him slowly go from cancer was like a huge thing. And I got this mentality of I don't deserve the good in the world because it's just going to get taken from me.
Wow.
And it wasn't until Pop's group when I was in Faribault that I was able to escape the confines of that prison and understand that I mattered. And I prepared to be successful, but I didn't prepare for the release and everything that went along with the success and the trials and the tribulations and the obstacles and the triggers and everything that got put in front of me, and I went backwards.
Right.
And it wasn't until treatment that I was able to fully grasp and look back on everything that Pops taught me, and then release that forgiveness that I needed to release to my mom for leaving or my brother for leaving. And it wasn't even forgiving them, it was forgiving God. And then forgiving myself for robbing myself for 15, 16 years of my life. Because it was, I've been in jail every single year since I was 12. Never put together a whole year, like you had said. You never put a whole year together against cocaine. I never put a year in without going to jail. And at one point, it seemed like every weekend I was going to jail. And now this is year 3 that I'm out, and I know that
Give him a little hand.
had I not gone through Pop's class and then found my way back to what I had found to open up my eyes to tell me I need more help, I know that I would have been back in jail and everything.
Let's stop him right there. That was very clear for Daniel. That was very clear, and I appreciate when you're able to collect your thoughts and express yourself clearly like that. That was really good. Who was that?
I hear the video.
Oh yeah, can we play it again? Ross, you mind lifting it up with Dougie Prince? And so Robert, I just want to say a couple things while this thing is hot though. Watch this. See, so when you come home in your transition phase and you got that glow on you, listen to what I'm telling you. That prison glow, prison acts like a type of a drug to your skin and your youthfulness. It's a preservative. Prison is a preservative. And a lot of times when people are come out of prison, you can't tell how old they are. You know, because their skin is preserved, and don't let them have been, eating right and exercising all of that in prison, because they're coming out here looking all youthful, way younger than their years reflect. But my point is this, that preservative needs to be carried on. You can't come out, close the door and say, all right, I got that done. The transition, say transition.
Transition.
Yeah. So it's a grammatical construction. Trans means movement. Transition means I moved. In transition, you got to have movement, not stagnation. If you get stuck and you get stagnant, you're not in transition. Transition is I was here, but now I'm there. Doug was on parole, but now he's on. How did that happen? That happens through transition. Even some of the lifers in here right now, we're going to be fighting in this next legislative session to get them their rights restored. There's a lot of people who are lined up. And, I'm just going to be honest with you. They looking at us. I say, all right, produce one who can cut it, and let's make him the example, because some of the politicians really want to restore those rights. And in some states, you already know offenders' rights are restored regardless of the crime, right? So there's a lot of stuff that goes into transition. This might be 7 years from now, 5 years from now, but it's still a part of it. You can't let your guard down. You can't drop your drawers. You can't go to sleep on this thing and act like you're not a professor Because if you have come home from there, you have earned a type of professorship. And you could just right here say to yourself in your mind, don't call no name, but everybody didn't make it out. I'm looking at two people in my mind. I'm just we wanted them. They ain't made that. So
They're out, but they're not out.
So look, I mean, didn't even get out, couldn't let go of this thing inside, and then it'll capture you inside. Right. So anyway, I just again want to. I'm glad everybody was here to hear that, and thank you, Will, for jumping in and guiding that. I want y'all to see this video from last Sunday. Turn up a little bit. Turn up a little bit, yeah. That's all right. Okay. That's a nice shot up. Man, that's a good shot of you right there. I like that. Y'all was burning. Will and Bubba grilling side by side. Wasn't it, man? Oh, that was beautiful. That's my wife. Shalom. Will. Willie. She was trying to keep Blaze from getting a touchdown. Michelle, look, she made me some potato salad yesterday. You dropped it off. Yeah, that's a nice shot.
That's your boy, Sherman?
Blaze. That boy is athletic and smart.
Big old piece of watermelon.
He said, "What was you doing, son? You weren't saving." What was you doing, Will? You was cracking yourself up. Oh, wait a minute, the doctor.
What would you say again, Pops?
Let's stay together.
Yeah, let's stay together.
Wait till Dan comes up. Dan went Luther Vandross on us. I didn't know he could play no Luther Vandross card. Back to grab. Yes, sir.
Yeah, bye-bye.
He carried us on home. Wait a minute. She went with the Houston on it.
Lacey Keys.
Lacey Keys, right. That's a nice shot right there. That's a nice shot. All right.
Yeah.
Riri, are you on there somewhere? Pop guys.
You would have thought that was sunny and bright and no rain or nothing.
Right.
You would have thought that, you know what I mean? And this captured a glimpse of the energy and spirit, man, that was out there, man. Everybody, it was beautiful. Everybody had a wonderful time, man.
It captured the spirit of this group.
Everybody had
wow, good point. Come on, let's give us some that. And so, Will, I just want to say, because you guys, to me, man, and I said this earlier, but y'all wasn't here. But I'm sitting there, Curtis, and just sitting in the, picnic, area, gathering area. And the kids were hollering and laughing. you know, in that way that makes you remember when you was young. And I looked over there, Ross, and they were all playing together. Now there was maybe 9 or 10 of them. Well, then, I heard a voice that said, now, look at the children of the children. Now, when I went to the prison, I didn't see them. I saw y'all. I saw you. I didn't see Blaze. I didn't see your son. I didn't see, what's your son's name? Avery. I didn't see him. But then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there and I'm like, ah. And I realized they're playing together because of our relationship from the penitentiary. But we turned it around. Somebody say turn on a dime.
Turn on a dime.
Turn that thing around on a dime. And just like what you said, everybody was out there having a good, funky good time.
Yeah.
Will was telling you the truth. It was rainy. And it was like, we wasn't paying no attention to no rain. What you talking about? So here's the last thing, and I'm gonna tell you this and I'll stop. And that is, Ananias sat there in his own way. He said, Pop, you know, I built this place.
Yeah.
And I looked at him, I'm like, you know, what you talking about? He said, well, when I was on the Stillwater work crew, our job was to come out and build all these pavilions. I built this.
Yeah.
And man,
And he talked about.
Wait a minute, I talked about, you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Come on.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stop. Anybody else want to jump in, please do. It was. Give yourself another big hand right there.
We did have work crews. We built up shore views.
That's
You know,
right.
yeah, we built all them, we built up some pavilions out there, the gardens, the cleans. They got a big old maintenance building, you know. We basically contracted with them, right? And a lot of people, they gave us confidence. They said, wow, y'all did this. Yeah, we can do this out here. We can do this down in the hood, you know?
Yeah, Bubba, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want, you know, with Tree, man, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you too, brother.
Man, it's been a long road.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you call me, I'm excited.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And it's a thing just in case yourself, you know, anything you need, I got it, but you family, whatever.
Why I came?
Call me at any time.
Because I know you guys are my people, man. That's why.
Are you listening to this?
Yep.
The night of the day or whatever, you know, it don't matter, you know, I'm gonna answer the phone, you know, so, you know, just let us know, let me know, man, it's good to see you because of our experience. I know how I feel.
That goes both ways though.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know it.
Any of you guys.
Yeah, the door is open for you. It's called. Don't think you have to go through it by yourself or that you have to figure it all out by yourself. Just call and maybe a word here or there, not even about what it is may help you to find your way, as you said, you know? Because you definitely did everything you had to do to get here.
Yes, sir.
That you navigated through those shark infested waters,
Absolutely.
through the matrix.
Yes.
Now you're here.
Right.
Come on.
Yes, sir. Right. Yeah, that's good, Donald. That's
Real quick, you know, like I was saying earlier, when I said a statement, and then I thought about it for a second, I take it back. I want to tell Will, when Will said what he said about being in prison was the hardest thing, I've been sitting here thinking about it. So, and then I was putting that up against addiction.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's 6 in one hand and half a dozen in the other.
Yes, sir.
Because at the same time in prison, once you find out, you gain your freedom in there. Once I found out and gained my freedom of the mind inside of prison, but I had no control over it, but still had to sit there.
Right.
Regardless that I know that and that.
Yeah.
And I still got to sit through that. That was hard.
Right.
And that was kind of hardest thing.
No, I mean, that's real. That's
So
real.
you're right about that.
Go ahead.
Thanks,
Will, you gotta go?
Father's Day picnic. It was important to Alicia mainly because it's multicultural. Melissa, she was grown up in a Mexican family and she's being dark. They called her like Negro. Right. And she felt sad, like, why do you call me dark? And now she's around black people. She's like, I love being black. It's so much fun. We always talk about the positivity.
Oh man!
You know?
Wow.
And so she's really happy when we come to these multicultural events. She's seeing the positivity of black folks and all of people who are just enjoying life and that energy, and she is vibing off.
Wow.
No, man, I appreciate it, and I on behalf of Edenaya and Tierra, because we was like the Three Amigos, and with that, and then that expanded because others came, Amos and other, Posse contributed, and and then it's like I said, if the people ain't there, then is it really a picnic? You know what I mean? So everyone made a contribution, whether you brought something, whether you just brought your family, your beautiful family, you know what I'm saying, and added to the atmosphere, the ambiance of what we was trying to do, which made it beautiful. We just, man, appreciate everybody, man. And next year it's gonna be even better.
No, and so let's hold on that thought. Because so Will said, as we were sitting, it was Will or Tia, one of the two, I think it was Will. He said, Pop, we should do this.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you something, it had touched my heart so deep that let me just tell you this. There's no way we don't get down to here next year. No way. I mean, it was just that beautiful. And even I got to see Chris. I'm over his house every other week. But I get my hair cut, and they treat me like my son grew all over there. But I got to see them outside of the house and see them enjoy each other's space outside of the house, and it was beautiful. It was really beautiful, man. And I got to kick it with your son, and just kind of draw him closer to what we're doing, And I could feel his heart saying, "Wow, this is." I see it now. He was getting it. Yeah, because the vision wheel that y'all created, that new vision up there was so powerful, it overruled it. Oh, look at the other side of the board. It just overruled it. Each and every one of us came from the other side of the board. Each and every one of us. But I'm talking about on that day, though, you couldn't see that side nowhere. Yeah, we had a new vision. So let's make sure we get out there again next year. We've got to make a run, so give him a little check.
Blew my son's mind to know that Willie was Willie's son. It just was like, and then he was in a place like that,
right?
And leading and talking what he was saying.
Absolutely.
It was just like
right.
For real,
right?
Oh yeah, for real.
The good life is real.
The good life is real.
Yeah. Somebody say the good life.
The good life.
Yeah. Somebody else. Somebody else jumped in before we run out of time.
Well, let me say a few words there.
Go ahead.
Most of you guys, my name is Shelby, and I was locked up for 8 years, and I went from different prisons, from St. Cloud to Fairboat, to Stillwater, back to Fairboat, and Fairboat, London Lake. Wow. Yeah, I've been on a journey when I was in prison. And most of that because of my behavior. I came to prison at the age of 57 for the first time in my whole natural life. I've never been locked up or did any time until I became 57 years old. From 57 to 65, so I spent 8 years in prison. I just got out 23 days ago. A year and a half, well, let's take it. 2 years ago, somebody told me, said, Shelby, you need to go and spend some time at the Power of People. Mm-hmm. I said, man, let me tell y'all something. I didn't heard all that. Mm-hmm. What makes Power of People so different? Mm-hmm. And, but I'm going to give it a try.
Right.
So I went to that first meeting in Lima Lakes. Shane Price, Marvin Clark was there. Mr. Bowers.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And Shane said something to me, man, brought tears to my eyes. The man didn't even know me. He just walked up to me and said, you know, the reason why you in this system because you didn't create a system for yourself. That broke me down. Because I was a hard man to get through. You know, I done been through life. I didn't have some good life too. You know, I've been multiple cruises. I've been many states. I done had a hell of a time.
No cussing, but yeah,
Excuse me.
I got you.
Sorry about the hell. I'm sorry, guys. Forgive me for that. But anyway, to make a long story short, I was listening to Shane Price and Marvin, and they was talking about, you know, what are you going to do different? And that thing that he said that stuck to me, it just wouldn't let me go. You created this system. Now you need to create a system for yourself. So I started listening to Marvin and Shane. I never missed one meeting.
Right.
They had, can you vouch for that?
Absolutely.
Not one meeting. I did the power of the people. Silent cry. Me and him had some little struggles together. You remember that time me and you got together in the unit and explained to me what was going on. And I felt something. I realized, man, I can't make this by myself.
Yes, sir.
Can't be done. You can't do it by yourself. I'm here to tell you, I'm 65 years old. You can't do this journey by yourself. So, you know, one man is not an island. And that's true. It is true. So I'm here now because I chose to be here. I need this. Not for a meeting or two. I need it for life.
Yeah, so give us some depth right there. Some feedback. Give him some feedback. Go ahead, Kurt.
I was an addict, and my crime caused me to go to prison. You know, I come up out of big city. The streets was a second playground, and I thought I knew everything. You know, and I met everybody, the wrong people. One desperate cold lonely night, I got sick, and there wasn't no drugs around. And somebody told me what something was, and we was going to take it. My intent was just to rob. You know, I know robbers that ain't never shot or killed nobody. You know, it didn't happen to me that way. You know, I fatally shot the dealer, and it was like 3 months afterwards, they finally caught up with me and the other two. Well, when I got convicted, I said, oh man, this is the end of the world. You're talking about 17 years. I said, no, man, go get me a rope. You ain't getting no 17 years out of me. You know what I'm saying? No, you know, my pride and everything. It was death before dishonor, right? So after another inmate talked to me, I mean, this is James Wilker. He said, oh man, that ain't nothing. We're going to get through this real easy. I'm like, you just left there off a bit. So the Lord touched my heart and said, no, man, it ain't that dramatic. You can get through that, you know. And I was gonna, that's the most time I ever did, you know. But in that time, I come to find out it was a double-edged sword. If they hadn't caught me and sent me to prison, I'd have been dead. Somebody killed me. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just go around robbing drug dealers and don't think you're gonna get caught, right? Or something bad ain't gonna happen to you or your loved ones, right? And so while I was there, I come to think about it. I said, well, and my mother told me this. She said, I'm glad you're there. You know, at least I know you're alive, right? And gradually things began to soak. I began to thaw out from the craziness that I was living in the street and the value system I had. And I listened to a little wisdom got here, a little wisdom got in there, you know. I said, okay, let me think about this. Education was my main door I didn't have a GED. I got put out of grade, sixth grade for smoking weed. You know what I'm saying?
I heard.
I got put out of school, you know, and the old school would let me in. They say, no, he's got a mental problem. You know, no, we don't have those in here. You know, we got behavioral problem, not that, you know. So I got my GED there, I got my AA, you know, just a few credits for my BA, and I said, okay, and this kind of opened my mind up. I said, I didn't have to do none of that. What I did.
Man.
I said, man, if I knew I could give me an option, I didn't know what the option was, you know. This is the way I grew up. This is the way I thought it always had to be.
Well, that's good.
You know?
That's
and
good.
And I believed everything I heard and saw. The sign that had the lady on and the man on that drinking and having a good time with the Cavassier.
Right.
I said, well, I got to drink to feel like that.
Right,
you know
right.
You know, I mean, I was one of them type of people that I believe everything I heard. You know, especially if it sounds good. You know, I didn't know about being discretionary about things that you do, and the crowd that I ran around with. You know what I'm saying? We were good kids, but we lacked discipline. You know, we just lacked discipline. And it's one thing we had that was a curse and a blessing. We had no fear. We was them crazy kids that jump on the back of the bus while I was riding down the street just to get a kick, you know, just to ride and lay up under it to see who's the bravest and all that type of stuff. Yeah, I'm like, man, what the heck? Where was my mama at? Right? Where was the adults at, right? They're supposed to grab me out the street and put me or send me on my way or something. But I was insane, come out of an insane environment. Didn't know what dysfunction was. When I got to prison and they showed me the program, I learned, man, I've been crazy half my life.
Wow.
Now they done took, I'm only 33, so half my life from 17 it was gonna be spent there, but it was a little more than that. You know, I spent 30 there. So when I come out, you know, I knew for sure. There was nothing you gonna ever do to drag me back up in there. You know what I'm saying? And I said to myself, I said, Lord, I will take that bridge, that cold weather, and a fight with a dog out there in zero weather that live in this cell, you know what I'm saying? And this so-called jail conflict, right?
Let me stop you right there. Give him some love. I'm coming right to you. But I just want to quick say this. I don't want to leave out what you said. But aren't you just glad that we have a space that allows Curtis some time to reflect on what he was talking about was his humanity. And what he was saying was, I didn't even understand the nature of humanity. I just was only attracted by the silver and gold. Now that's really everybody's story in here. Yeah. But what the moral of the story is it's never too late. And under whatever conditions, you can still reclaim your humanity.
Right.
And by the time I got to Curtis was an excellent mentor. You know, was showing people the way, sharing books. You know, try to get you to read and, you know, do all these other kind of things. And I just appreciate what you just said. I'm supposed to be up here and trying to stand right so I can record it. We got the sound, but I forgot to turn on the computer. All night I haven't turned it. So I'm sorry about that, but we got the sound. Corey, what you got?
I don't want to speak too much on it. I just want off of what you were saying, Shelby. What came to mind as my first experience. I think we started around the same time. Open minded. Dr. Price made a heavy impression on me. The one thing that stands out is she taught me how to utilize the power that I had. And once I discovered that power within myself, I had to learn how to trust myself with the power. And that took a process, it took a journey, because what I thought my power was, well, it was never had anything to do with me. My power was in other things, external things outside of me, you know, and that's what I place my value, my self-worth on. So when Dr. Price and Shane Price and my other pop brothers helped me discover my power. And one brother said, Corey, why do you attach yourself to words, into people, into things? Don't attach yourself to those things because you have everything that you need inside of you. So when you feel empty inside, I tend to attach myself to other things and other people because it gives me fulfillment. And so once I said, okay, well, how do I attach myself to me? How do I discover that? How do I do that? And everything that I was giving to people out here, I'm a people pleaser, and I seek a lot of attention and affection from others, and acceptance from others. So why not give that to myself? And tell myself, look myself in the mirror and say, hey, brother, you're a beautiful man. You are a godsend man. You know where you come from? You know your true power, your true identity. So when I discovered that, man, ain't nothing you can tell me. And so with that power, ain't no way that I'm going to take that power to bring me back to a place.
Come on, give him some love.
Hey, Pop.
Huh?
Hey, Pops.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Rod. I couldn't make it in for the draft thing,
That's
but
all right. We still love you.
I've been kind of busy, but I want to let all who cut hair. I want to let people know that I'm just not opening up a barber shop, so I'm looking for barbers to come in. And
Where your location?
We in Brooklyn Center.
Okay.
So we just getting started. If y'all can see, we just getting started.
Look at it. Well, that look good.
Just getting started. We got the beauty salon over here.
Beauty salon and the barber shop.
Got the barber shop over here.
Wow. Chris, look a little bit like your chair. Chris got a little Cadillac chair.
Where you at in Brooklyn Center,
Sherrod, where your address at?
My phone finna.
Right. He said his phone finna go. His phone was
gone just now, dude.
Give him a hand though.
Yeah.
Starting up businesses and this and that. But what I want to say to Corey was in the class, right? And he wasn't buying it at first. You know, he was sitting there and he kept trying to fight it, you know, like, no, this ain't this. But then he would come back and pull me off to the side and say, well, you know, I was thinking about that one thing you said. And asked me a couple of questions. So, you know, he went through almost ready to graduate. He was doing his homework, starting to turn in his assignments. Then he fell off, right? And he said, I sent the guys out looking for him, and he was saying, I ain't something. But about some months later, here come Corey sliding back into class again. He done signed back up. This time he was ready to pursue it, right? And I really appreciate that you get it because you were thinking about what's going to work for me, right? And you know, when Corey he reached out and said, "Papa, I need a spot," you know, I'm like, "Hey, come on, man, you know, we got you." You know, his little agent or somebody up there was calling me about 50,000 times. I said, I told you we got him. You write him down, check his name off, and quit calling. You know, but to what Shelby was saying, and I think this is important. I heard something in 2 or 3 people. I'm just going to try to expose it, and that is trauma. Say trauma.
Trauma.
Yeah, trauma normally that plagues you today, this second or later when we leave. It won't be anything that happened today. The trauma that bothers us is the trauma from that ghetto place we talked about at the very beginning of the meeting. Most of the time in your young life, you were impacted by someone, impacted by something that literally changed the course of your life with words. And some people pretend to know what they were talking about, and even living a life that, to be honest with you, colored people in the day, colored people had to play certain games for survival's sake. But those games later turned around and became demons.
Yeah.
Huh? It infected you. Come on, you go.
It's the environment. I come like I was telling you about the property I wrote up on the board, and I told you about it. I come up in that environment. It's very harsh, and I took that with me through my whole life.
Yeah.
And that's what got me where I'm at. But it's not just that. It was my thinking.
Yeah, right.
My best thinking got me in prison.
Ooh, brother.
So I got to turn that around. But anyway, I just want to tell y'all also, I start class Summit Academy Monday.
Oh, give them some love.
Yeah, been rolling just like I wanted.
Like the new vision.
Like the
But
vision.
Daniel over there is at Summit, and Will is the teacher.
Right. Yeah, I talked to Will about it when I first came back. Got here. And I dealt with the administration and stuff, and it got me on through.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
When I needed, because I was having some online issues, and they called me down to the office and said, we'll take care of that. And we sat on down, and grant money and everything come through, man.
What?
Yeah, grant money and everything.
You done hit with that grant money.
That grant money.
I just need a couple of dollars.
It's so much I ain't got to pay it back.
Oh man, that's that free grant. I love that kind.
It's that free grant.
Sweet grant.
And it's a carpentry thing, but hey, that's what I need.
No, man, look, it's see, look what he's saying. But I'm trying to tell you about the preservative. Prison as a preservative. See, now, had he kept living the life he was living, but no prison, he couldn't be talking about being no carpenter now. Because then his body would have gave out. Now he's still got body enough to get in there and do work. But look at God. Your worst mistake does not define the entirety or the totality of your life. Someone else's worst mistake cannot define the totality or the entirety of your life. You got to shake yourself loose from the trauma of yesterday, get a new vision, right? And let that ghetto stuff go. How do you defeat it? You see, look at the clock I got up there. Look at it. The clock is how you defeat the ghetto mentality. Because if you only surround yourself with adders and multipliers, and as Shadow says, I give you 90 seconds to make your point. If you don't make a positive point in 90 seconds, I'm out of here. If you can fill up your time with adders and multipliers, the ghetto life will fall off of you, because the ghetto life only sends subtractors and dividers. If you got something pulling at you, it's because you're allowing time. Say time. You're allowing time with subtractors and dividers. I'm just trying to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And even though it seems like an elementary message, I'm going to tell you the sophistication of the math never fails. If you take an adder, parentheses, plus a subtractor, parentheses, it will always equal subtraction. You can't be an adder and lodge your digits next to a subtractor without getting a haircut like at the barbershop. You have to provide yourself like with adder. That produces that charge that you need to get to your next level. Somebody say next level.
Next level.
Rambo, don't go. We didn't hear that from him. Oh, I missed it.
Oh, I did, but I just want to speak about prison for discovering myself, actually, from getting certified as a juvenile to adult. My thing was later on, understanding some stuff about life, understanding, things about being a student teacher at KOP Leadership Institute was about active and dormant pain. And I had to really focus and bear down what was active pain and what was dormant pain. And even when I thought about that, my dormant pain was my worst enemy, because it allowed me an excuse to do what I wanted to do. It allowed me to tap into excuses, do it my way, listen, and I'm just going to run them up. So, but once I found out about active pain, and I had to look at active pain and deal with it front, face forward.
Wow.
And dealing with different people that was giving me advice, because I didn't take advice from a lot of different people. You know, that was just how it was. I felt a certain way,
Right.
what you was trying to do to me. So that allowed me to open up, to allow other people to come in my life, to hear some stuff from other people I haven't heard from, or even give it a chance. So that allowed me to open up. So even when I was dealing with active pain, it was a relief for me, because I was able to understand some stuff and go through it as I was going through it at the same time. So
Right.
it allowed me to meet different people, different walks of life, and that it is said that you have many teachers. So I had so many people involved in my life over 30 years. So
Yeah.
I equate that to all the people that I was in contact with, because they made an impact in my life. They touched me in some type of way. At the same time, I was able to be active and open about that. So even when I was in active pain, so I was able to talk about it, deal with it. So it allowed me to grow, to understand what life was about, even when I took a life, and to give back. So it allowed me to be a social father to many in the prison life and out here.
Absolutely.
So it
Absolutely.
allowed me to even be a better person. So that part.
I'm gonna jump in and share something with you about Baba. I've been messing with him for some years. And one day in Furbo, we did a skit. And the skit, everybody had a job, like a judge or a lawyer or a prosecutor, or, a witness of the jury and all of this, and even witnesses. Baba had recently gone, this was just for him, I thought. He had recently gone to see the parole board, and the family of his victim, they were vicious. Their loved one was gone. But I knew by this time, the guy they were talking about, he didn't exist anymore. And he, in his heart of hearts, certified as an adult. Now, I understand, he went in, I think, 16 or 17. 16? Watch this. That little boy was still asking for another chance. Receive me and my humanity. And he had done the work. They didn't see that part. They couldn't see it. Right. He had done the work. So John Vane, I got to play the role of a offender of homicide. And he had to present his case to the court and to Baba. So I flipped his role around for the teaching value. Watch this. And John, who also had committed a homicide, John looked at Baba. You was there. John looked at Baba and said, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry for what I've done. I realize that I've taken a life from you. I wish I could do it. I had it all over again to do, but I've changed. And oh man, he just went into this thing. You running out of time?
I gotta go.
Okay. Give me 2 minutes. Let me borrow 2 minutes, and then we'll let you get him back. Watch this though. You can't miss it. Then he said, I said, well then I let the witness have the floor. And so John is crying because he was testifying. He's looking at Vava and he wants Vava's sympathy. But Vava played the role of the people who just got through serving him. And Vava was cold-blooded and said, no, I don't forgive you. I hate you. And I wish you was dead, and I'm gonna never forgive you and never do. And I never, and Vava, while he's saying this, he's crying cold, hot tears down his face. And man, I'm talking about, you could hear a pin drop. We might have been 75 deep in the room. You could hear a pin drop in the room. Wasn't nobody saying nothing because everybody understood we was on that thing.
Right.
And so I had to say that to him here now on this time. You think I forgot, but I ain't forgot nothing, not one. And I'm gonna tell you, part of that helped to liberate him because he could get off his chest what they had done, to him. And as that little boy, he was just asking for a chance like a juvenile, like a 16-year-old in a grown man's body. Let this church say amen. We gotta jump up because look at Ross gotta leave. I'm sorry. Ross gotta leave. And I want him to pledge out with us so he know how we do this.
All right.
All right. Come on. We pledge out. Go around. Can you make it around? Doug, can you make it all the way around? We big enough. Come on, sis. Can you make it? Come on, you make it? Yeah, good. Come on, a little bit more. All right. Watch this. Repeat after me. I will balance my family values with my goals. I will exercise wisdom. What I choose to eat. Read, and do. Because I am somebody. I will strive to make all relationships. Win-win. No deal. I will under every circumstance. Maintain a positive attitude. Even if I'm in Ashland House. I will enjoy my life with a sense of humor. I'm taking advantage of my opportunity. Learning from my misfortune. I will act upon circumstances rather than have them act upon me. I will on a daily basis be proactive with my goals. That means I have to have goals. Be proactive over. I will stay principle centered. Maintain a positive circle of influence. I will daily learn. I will commit. I will do the things I plan. I will act according to the POP Leadership Institute. Be productive in my community and my private life. Hug somebody and get on out of here. Come on. Come back. Woo.